and welcome to Flory Models Daily Show. Here we are on Wednesday the 4th of January 2017. Still get used to saying 17. Thank you first of all for all the very kind feedback on my little speech, I'm going to call it now. I won't call it an apology because everyone says you shouldn't apologise. But our little chat that we had. Now this was a chat just between me and the membership. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it too openly on here and everything else like that, but it was my basic ramblings about how I want the site to go and my workload and the problems I'm having and everything else like that. And you guys really brought sort of tears to my eyes. It was really nice to have that sort of feedback. I have read everybody's. If you get the little tick on there, little thumbs up, you'll know it's from me, you'll see it's from me. And I have. Obviously I can't answer them all because there's hundreds and hundreds now and everything else like that. But the gist of it really was, for everybody else, is that I felt last year, as I said, we did 247 videos, including the live stuff. And I was just looking back over it and trying to just see where we're going and what we're doing and everything else like that. And it just felt that, I don't know, we had sacrificed quality for quantity. And the problem I had was I just felt so pressurized in producing content, videos, that I was losing focus on what I was actually doing. Okay, and one of the other things that I was speaking to a member about yesterday, one of you guys, you'll know who you are, and I was saying that little things that I used to love doing was just having a play. When was the last time that I actually just got a kit out and tested a new little technique or just try something a little bit different? Because the thing is, I've always had to do the safe option, purely because every Monday, every Wednesday, you've expected a part of a video build or something else like that. Every Thursday and Friday you've expected reviews and everything else. So what gets sacrificed is that there's no real time for me to play and experiment and try new things, because if it's not a review I'll never try it, and various things like that. So it's almost it was just, okay, here's an object and this is what it is, and yet I've never played with it and I've got no idea how it actually works. Okay, so, and that was the point where what I really need to do is to get some new items in and things like that. So you have a look at it. I'm just grabbing stuff that I got kicking around the desk. This isn't what we're gonna do. But like masking fluid, instead of just picking it up for the first time, doing a review on it and that's it, get it, use it for a little while, get to understand it, get to know what it can do, what it can't do, you know, its strengths and weaknesses from that point of view. So when I do come up with a review, I can give you a all-inclusive, you know, the good points, the bad points, what it likes, what it doesn't like, and everything else like that. So then that way you get a better review. But I need time to physically go off and have a play and to have a look at it and see how these particular things all work and everything else like that. And that's what's been lacking. Okay, and that goes in some ways for doing the builds as well, because various new techniques that have come out and new items, like all these new fangled gizmos and oil washes and oil paints and, you know, everything, all these new paints out there, you need to understand to use them. And that goes back to when we were using the MRP paints, where really I had to change my entire style of airbrushing, and luckily I picked it up very quickly. But now I can understand why people have trouble spraying things like neat paint. You know, I spray neat Tamio, and a lot of people over Christmas, when I was doing things like we did the Star Destroyer and stuff like that, that people were like, hold on, how can you spray neat paint? To me, it's really easy. That's because I've been doing it for so long and I understand the system and the practicals of it working and everything else. But if you're not, it is that thing of having to take a step back and saying, okay, this is how you spray neat paint. To a lot of people, it's really straightforward, but if you don't know, it's very difficult, okay, and everything else like that. But it is that thing of just taking a step back and explaining, instead of just that thing of I need to do a review of this masking fluid, so I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to paint it on, and this is how it works and all the rest of it, and away you go. Because I've literally got one day to review and everything else, and that's not very good. So thank you very much for everybody's kind feedback. As I said, it's a lot of changes, but they're not big ones, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to tweak things a little bit more, and what I'm hoping is, from this vlog point of view, is that you'll get an insight into those as well. So when I am doing a little test on this, before the proper review comes out, you guys will probably get a little bit of a look at it and some insight and perhaps some even background information on it that might not be in the review, because it's not really relevant to a review, but as I'm using it, I can talk about it at the same time. Okay, and the same thing goes, didn't mention it too much on the actual the video itself about it, but the live shows, again, yes, I know they're great for background knowledge and everything else like that, but so much good information gets lost in there. You know, when we did Slave 1, to be honest, I've got it in the cabinet now, Slave 1 was a classic example. A lot of you have said it would have been great if it had been a standalone build, because we could have seen that thing about chipping, but I was so quick Again, I'm steaming through because I know I've got projects and I've got work to get on with. I haven't got the luxury of taking 2 weeks to build it. That's wrong. I should take my time to explain it better, because again, it's better to have quality over quantity. Okay, so from that point of view, yes, you're right, it should have been done perhaps better, and if the live shows are a little bit more shorter, they'll be a bit more punchy, a little bit more concise, and the timeline ones, which I'm going to implement from now onwards, I'll probably might go back to the Meteor and put those tags in, and when I get time I'll go back to old videos and do them as well. So when we are talking about specific things, there will be a little sub menu that is going to appear underneath the video builds now, where you can click on it and the video will go to that time, okay, or you can just scroll along to that time in there. So it might say, you know, 27 minutes into it we talk about chipping, and that where you don't have to watch the entire video, you just go along to chipping, and then hopefully what will happen is the search index on the main site, that'll be the thing where you'll just go in there and say chipping, and it will come up and it will say slave 1's chipping, it might come up Hind 24 chipping, and the various things. So you can perhaps pick a category which is better refined to you. So like me, armor chipping, so you might think, okay, well there's one there on armor chipping, that's what we're after. You'll go to it, it'll take you to the video, you know it starts at 18 minutes in, you go to 18 minutes in, you can find it, and it'll be indexed clearly, easily and concisely. But these things that all take time, and normally I just didn't have that time to sit down and do all of that. So now when I'm doing the editing, I will then do the entire edit as I normally do. I normally watch it back through. But as I'm watching it back through now, I'll be taking notes about the timelines of when everything goes in. So when the video goes up onto the main site, that then it will have the time code stamps all put in there, so you'll be able to find everything very, very easily. And again, the tagging system on the main site, I'll make sure I put everything in there. Because at the moment, I just tend to do live show, news show, full video build, photo build, that's all you really get. But if I put the tags in there, that way you'll find it a lot more. So the search engine will be more like YouTube's than ours is, and everything else like that. Anyway, on that note, so thank you very much for all that kind feedback. I am going to be in the forum tomorrow, so I'll be answering a lot of questions and various bits in there. I'm going to set aside a good couple of hours tomorrow, again, what we were speaking about, to get me in the forum more, and I'll be in with you guys, and I'll be answering questions and various things in there. Anyway, what you really all want to know is this. Does that look better? Does that look cleaner? And everything else down there, just like this. So there we go. This is our new spray booth setup, which actually I think's worked really, really well. It's not plumbed in yet or wired in yet, it's just all here, but this is it. So this gives us now this huge spray booth area and everything else. So that is really, really nice, and I've had a tidy up down there. I've sorted out what I've got, what I've junked, got rid of, and all the rest of it. But this gives us our booth, and what I can do is, when we're in here, for instance, I can put the sides on so it looks better, and it sort of draws in more and everything else like this. Okay, but for the moment it's sort of open, so it just looks better on camera and everything else. So generally, but there we go. That's how that one's working just down there. I do have to thank, who am I thanking for this one? I am thanking Chris. Chris has been working on the F-18 Hornet, and as you know, I'm a patch collector, and he has sent me some absolutely stunning Australian Hornet patches from all the squadrons down in there which you're using. These are great, because I must admit I have got none of these whatsoever. So now we have got those. So again, they'll be going on my patch wall, and I say as soon as I get upstairs sorted out, I'll take you around for that. But thank you very much for that, Chris. That was a real nice little surprise. To be honest, I had all this stuff in there, parcels and things, and I've been working my way through them and everything else like that. So thank you very much for those. So there we go. That's about it for this morning. What I'm going to do as well, right now, I'm just about to go and record something about for when your payment information goes a little bit awry on the site. Because a lot of you don't read. That's your thing. It does say down there that sometimes you get your payment system is cancelled, your subscription. Don't forget, I'll explain this fully on the video, but a quick recap basically is your membership and your subscription are two separate things. Your subscription is what PayPal uses to do the membership on the site. Okay, so when your subscription's cancelled, it doesn't necessarily mean that your membership is cancelled, okay, because your membership is still there. But what it does do, it alerts the membership that you've cancelled, and you'll get a little note that comes up. 9 times out of 10, to be honest, it is purely where your credit card has been lost, stolen, or is expired, okay? Then what happens is that your subscription will fail, okay? When it fails, it gets 3 failure attempts, I think over the space of like 10 days or something, then it cancels. When it cancels, it then tells the Flory model site it's cancelled, okay? And then what happens is the system puts this into a payment error slot. Okay, so you've still got an account, you can still watch all the video builds and everything else. You can't buy from the store in this mode, but but you can do absolutely everything else. You've still got access to the forum and everything, okay? So your subscription's cancelled, but your membership hasn't. Now your membership will run normally for another 4 weeks. So you've got like 5 weeks to sort it out. And in this time, every time you log on to the main site, you'll get a little note that comes up that says there's a payment error. Please can you contact us? All we need to have really is your username and your PayPal email address. We don't need any credit card numbers, everything else like that, because that's all done with PayPal, okay? And then what I can do is check, all right? And I go on and I use your PayPal email against our system and it will tell it's been cancelled or something else like that, all right? But this will be explained in the little video. So what happened is now, when you get that message, you'll get, well, not me, it's gonna be a screen and I'm gonna show you what you need to click and how to get it back. But basically, just go subscribe again and then it will auto update across and you'll be good to go. So there we go, that's it for this morning. What I'm going to do now, finish off tidying in here, going to get that sorted, and then I'll be back with you this afternoon. Okay then guys, so the spray booth setup is all done, sorted, pretty much how I want it. So I've got a shroud which I can put onto it if needed, but I think we're going to be okay. There's enough drawer in there and everything else. And what we're going to do, obviously Thursday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon and Friday, I'm going to be working on the Meteor. Yes, the Meteor will be back. I'm going to get it out. To be honest, I'm going to refresh myself. I'm going to watch the last few parts of it, and then we're going to push on with that one really heavily before we start on the A10, which we'll be starting on next week. And as I say, part of our new regime of moving through. Okay, now, you know when you're having one of those weeks and it's got going well, trust me, mine's going quite well now. Now I've got all that off my chest yesterday, I feel nice and invigorated again, which is always the way. The only trouble is, if you were following yesterday's show, you would have known that I tried to order the brand new Brazin engines, the Edard ones, for the 132nd Mosquito, and they look absolutely stunning. And to be honest, this is the main reason I've been holding off doing the said kit, because I've always wanted to do it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it as a super build. So when the engines dropped in around about Christmas time, really excited, put in the orders for them, and as you've been following, obviously the first lot never turned up. This was supposed to be the engines, which I know it's not in it now because I've had a look at the invoice attached to it. No, it's not. So I got on the phone, like, what's going on? And apparently what it is, Edard have short shipped all the stockists and distributors and everybody. So nobody's got their full allocations. And what was happening was we were allocated X amount of them, and obviously there wasn't enough to follow through. So we are bottom of the pile. So we're going to have to wait. Now, I'm not in a mass hurry for it because, to be honest, I'm not going to be able to start it for another month, maybe 2 anyway. So from that point of view, it's no biggie. It's just that I wanted to see them because they look absolutely gorgeous. But in here is something we have been speaking about over the last few weeks. And I'm hoping it is. It is. So this is Men's new snap tight kit. Now, again, I'm hoping you can see this. I'm using the other little camera. This is the snap tight kit. Now, the thing is with this one, apparently it is no cement required. It says fast cement-free assembly design, various store options. Now, if you remember, I have said, what if it would be good if one of the mainstream ones did something like a Bandai kit as a normal aircraft? So when this one dropped in around about Telford, I did see it, but you know, too busy, never really got around to doing it. And I had this one on order, and anyway, it's arrived. So I'll be interested to have a look in this one. I might have a sneak peek tomorrow just to see exactly how well it goes and if it can go together and apart like the Bandai ones, or is it a one-way trick? Is it not really? Are we just talking oversized locating pins, or has it got proper locating pins and it just, the fit is that good that we're not going to need glue or filler? And what I might actually do with this one is mock it together, obviously if it does need any glue, and then we can obviously go back to it at a later date and give it a proper paint job. And you might remember I wanted to go back and do a natural metal finish, so I'm now thinking this kit could be a fantastic one-day build, because if it goes together without any glue or filler and all the rest of it, and then I can paint it all in one day, it's going to make a fantastic one-day build, so on a live show. So that is the plan for that one. I'm not going to look in the box, I'm going to be disciplined. I'll look at it when we review it, hopefully maybe tomorrow, Friday, something else like that. All right, I've got to go because my battery's actually going on this camera for a change. There we go, that's it from me. Catch you all tomorrow.